Hi, I'm Sean Ashby. I'm here at the prolific Meadowlands fishery near Coventry. I'm going to talk you through some tactics I used when I fished on the Flyer TV final last weekend. Meadowlands, like I said, is a prolific fishery. It's absolutely stuffed with roach, perch, skimmers and bream, but when you're fishing for a winning weight, you've got to fish for bream, and this time of year it's one bait only, and that's pellets. Fishery owned pellets, 2mm micros and 4mm expanders are really all you need. With rig wise, this is obviously a very shallow lake. What is it, 3 foot deep? I use like a 0.2 rig. Very important to have strung out rig like that so the skimmers can see it dropping through the water. Quite a big hook, a 14 barbless pellet hook. It's just a case really then of starting your peg off with a pot full of micros like that. Just tap them in a bit, stop them bouncing out. Start your peg off like that, and then just feel your way through really. There's a lot of fish in your peg. You can feed every 2 or 3 fish, not so many fish. Maybe every 3 or 4 fish I put maybe half a pot full in and go along like that. So this is a Basie float, predominantly designed for canal fishing, but it's perfect for this sort of fishing. It's got a wire stem for stability and quite a thick bristle. 2 reasons: obviously you've got to support a pellet, but also on these fisheries you tend to get really, some situations, really bad light situations, so a thicker bristle, as long as you dot it down, it's a lot more visible than a much thinner bristle. So like I said, I tend to string a lot of my rigs out, certainly this sort of depth. It's a 0.2 float, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 number 10 shot and a couple of trimmer shot. I just like this sort of rig. I just like a rig that falls through the water a little bit slowly. A lot of these fish are just off the bottom and they can see the pellet floating down and they can pick it up immediately.
Would you generally just start off with one kinder pot?
I would on this lake, yeah.
Yeah.
On the other lake, I'd probably start and cast as short and just put a pot full of pellets in, micros, and then just feed it every maybe half an hour. Let them get them lined up a bit out there. Like I say, I fish casters on that peg on Sunday, but at 6 metres, and I had probably had £6 on it, but thinking back now, I'd been better off putting pellets in. Yeah, I might have caught the extra 2 fish to get in, maybe. It's all ifs and buts in it fishing, but if I draw here Saturday, I'll just be fishing pellets everywhere. I think I won't even get casters out the bag. It's ridiculous, really. I don't understand it myself, but I certainly like them.
It's quite I'd fish a 14, but I think a lot of people would scale down to a smaller hook. But yeah. I think some of those fish you've had are almost, 3 pounds.
Yes. So you have a couple of, but they're not far off. You want to get them out your swim quite quick, and then you don't want we probably want £50 to win Saturday. You can't mess about with them, can you? I
think it's like if I was coming here, it'd be how would I approach a peg? Where would I start? Lengthwise, what would I start at? And like, I don't know how this plumbs up. Is it really flat all the way through?
Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, it'd be slightly shallow, not much though.
Yeah.
The pellets on the bottom there, but it's not, yeah, it's relatively flat.
Yeah, it's just why you fishing 14 there or 12 and a half?
12 and a half it is, yeah, because it's comfy. I'd probably fish 14 in the match. Maybe, I don't know whether I would or not, as you stuck out on a point here, aren't you? But
Yeah.
if you're at 14 in the middle of the lake, then aren't you? You've got it to yourself.
Do you come short or?
Yeah, they'll come short later on, yeah. Yeah. You get the big and short as well sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I found on the other lake was a lot, and then they came towards like late afternoon, and then they got bigger fish.
Yeah, the big ones seem to come in in the afternoon. Like they do on lots of venues, don't they? We fish a local one to me, Rycroft Fisheries, and that's exactly the same. Yeah. Last hour, you can catch massive weights of great big bream. Yeah, it's a what? Not really. 6 inches shallower in it, just a very steady float. It's deeper down that end. It's probably 5.5 foot where I fished the other day.
Yeah.
But they do like this peg for some reason. I don't know what all these pegs here, 4 and 5 and 6. It's even shallower up that back there. But they do catch there, especially when it's warm.
Yeah, it's like, obviously a few people talking about warming up. And switched on because he said it's been hard all winter.
Yeah, it's been hard all winter. It's been terrible, yeah. Like I say, the other fish aren't feeding. There's loads of roach and perch in here. They're just not feeding at all. I don't know why.
All skimmers.
It's all skimmers now. Skimmers all bust. When it was rubbish, it was just odd skimmers. So something's not quite, but they're still in here, them fish. Because you do catch odd roach, and they're definitely still here, but there's something not quite right. They're not happy about something. Yeah, so. They fish corn a lot.
Yeah.
They do fish a lot of corn. I'm not sure about meat. I think it is band meat, yeah. Corn, I know they catch a lot of bream on corn at times. Never caught one on it in my life here, but so we normally fish. It's winter when we fish, and maybe we ought to try it, maybe, especially in them deeper pegs on that other lake. Tiny little dinks, yeah. Trying to get fish for a lot in it, really. I think a bit nervous about it all, really. That's what happens, isn't it? When you're in the match, you get tangled up. It's quite boring, isn't it, pellet fishing?
I'm never a fan.
I never have been, no, I haven't.
I'd much rather fish the cast.
Yeah, I would. Needs must, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dead right, that is.
I think it's the price though, isn't it?
Probably. It probably is, yeah. Yeah, I think the pellets are 350 here. Well, that's pint of cast. That's just 1 pint of cast, isn't it? 350. So you want 3 pints here, probably. There's a tenner gone straight away, innit? Never mind the ground bait and.
You tend to put ground bait in later in the year, or?
No, when it's colder, I put ground bait in every match I fished here, to be honest. But I probably won't Saturday, you know.
Yeah.
We fished that 2 day. I drew on that back bank the first day in the middle. And I was next to Alan, and I caught some fish at like 7 joints on what bite of chuck it was on casters, Roach, and all of a sudden it all changed, all little skimmers like that, loads of them, hard to catch on casters. And then I'd already fed pellets at 14 metres, and I caught one I chuck on pellets last hour and a half, £38. Was second in the section that. And I drew terrible on the Tuesday, £22 fourth. So just missed out on the overall, and obviously I was first misser on this one on Saturday, so a bit unlucky really at the moment. It's not going the right way. Always surprised me. Another pound of fish would have got me £2.5 grand last Sunday. You know, so would have maybe third probably. Well, it would have been third.
So like the weights are all consistent. It's not like someone's
no.
Run away and dominated it.
No, 45, 43, then I think there was 5 of us on 35 odd. Or between 35 and 36.
It doesn't take long to build a weight doing them, does it?
Oh no, it's ridiculous, isn't it? That's why it's so good at this end. I think just saw some bigger fish. I only caught, a big fish would be £1 down there for me the other day. No, it won't take long to sort that out, will it? Don't seem to bother him, does it, catching one out of the peg? It's unbelievable, it's only shallow, isn't it? Strange, it was the same on the Sunday. If you fed, like you didn't catch for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Do you think they back off of food?
Also, I wonder if they do back off a little bit and then come straight and then come back in 2 minutes later. It's odd, isn't it? You think they'd be straight on it.
I suppose if you feed too much as well, you're just going to get carp.
That's, you know, that is the issue, isn't it? You're trying to manage your peg enough so you don't get caught. You are going to get caught eventually, but last hour was when you catch them. I had 4 or 5 on last hour on Sunday. Yeah, it's not just a case of just filling it and waiting for it. You can't fill it on these sort of places because you end up just getting a peg full of carp.
I was going to say, is that a carp?
I thought that was a carp then. Is it? Yeah, got to be, hasn't it? That's the problem. Like you say, you've fed it now, and then like the carp said, you got a game out the peg, haven't you? I think it's a carp anyway. It might not be. I think it is there, don't you?
It's going to be a big skimmer.
He's not very happy. Strange though, it's not fighting like a carp. Pulling like a carp, but it probably is a carp. Yeah, it's a carp, I think. It's safe to say. Not a big one, I don't think. Nearly had you. Yeah, that's what happens when you feed too much in one go, I think.
Yeah, it's quite hard to regulate the peg from how often you feed. And
that's it. Yeah, that's the difference in it between doing not very good and doing well. Sometimes on that big lake you have to fish through the carp, just keep catching them, and then you catch some skimmers and things like that. But it makes a messy hook box.
What bottom are you fishing?
9 on pellet.
Yeah.
And 08 on caster. Some people fish heavier and get all the carp out. I don't mind getting snapped by them, to be honest. Yep. So obviously I fished the pellet line, that's going to be my main line of attack, but what happens on these commercials a lot is that, you know, towards the end of a session or towards the end of the match, the bigger fish tend to sort of come in, patrol around towards the edges. So I always put in a line at 5 or 6 metres, and I prefer to use ground bait and casters and worms really for that line. It catches all sorts, and I think some of the bigger bream do prefer the sort of the worms, especially the worms. So I just start off putting just a couple of, I don't know, tennis ball size balls in, full of bait. This is the infamous Power Green and Sweet Magic that I've been catching a lot of fish on the last couple of years. If you like garlic, you'll love it. So just get that 5 minutes just to settle down, and then I'll We'll have a quick look at it.
Have a look on the short line.
Quick look on the short line,
Yeah.
so we can catch one.
Is that pretty much identical rig then?
Yeah, different float. I can explain that in a minute if you want. But I've just seen some activity there, like the ground bait's activating now, so maybe there's something there. Get the pole undone. Probably a carp. Roach. Not bad roach. So you get away to them up as well. Yep. Maybe they're starting to feed now, the roach.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to do a big weight of them,
No, no, it wouldn't. No, catch them a lot quicker than the skimmers, can't it? Yeah. But you would catch some skimmers eventually on this, I'd imagine. But the roach are in first.
I suppose it's worth having that change, because if that long line goes funny, which it probably has around.
Well, that's right. With the carp might move in, and obviously you can have a bit of a do on casters for a bit, can't you? Well, this is what happened the other day. You catch 2 or 3, and then it'd go quiet again.
What, with the roach or skimmers?
So the roach, strange. Yeah, library type thing. Hybrid, I think. That's why them roach knocked off. He's in town, isn't he? So as you see, I've switched to the short line on casters. The rig's very, very similar. Again, it's strung out number 10s. We've got a 16 hook on with a 6-inch hook length. There's a 4-inch hook length on the pellet. So I want to fish very close to dead depth with pellet. With casters, I tend to maybe put 2 or 3 inches on the bottom, even on a very still day like this, even more if it's breezy. The float is a 0.3. It's an old model. We're gonna bring these back out next year. But I like a carbon stem for roach fishing, especially roach fishing, because I tend to throw the rig out straight and hang on to it, and the carbon sort of lets it fall very, very slowly, and you get a lot of bites just as the caster hits the bottom. Sometimes before it hits the bottom, but when it hits the bottom, you tend to get your better fish then. Obviously, we've caught some skimmers there as well. That doesn't matter so much for skimmers, but that's how I fish for roach anyway. Okay, so just a quick recap. Obviously, I started on pellets, feeding it through a little toss pot. Just started off by starting with a toss pot full, and just feeding to bites really. We've gone through the rigs and the shotting patterns. I also put some groundbait in later on at 6 meters, just to see where there's any roach about. There were some roach initially, but it turned out to be mostly skimmers and big ones at that really, which is not unusual for this place. You tend to catch the bigger ones later on, closer in. So all in all, brilliant day's fishing. Bite every chuck in. What more can you ask for? So as you can see, a net full of skimmers, probably, I don't know, it's over 40 pound there, probably in less than 3 hours really. Most on pellets, a few on casters at the end. Probably the best silverfish fishery in the country, I would say.